Let's welcome back to the show Congressman Darrell Issa. Congressman, it's always a pleasure to have you on. It's good to see you.
Well, thank you. And in this busy day, I'm glad you were able to make time. The stock market went up, so what else isn't there to celebrate? Right. Oh, yeah, your government.
So that's interesting because this is something that's kind of negative. GOP Congressman James Comer says Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and the White House are obstructing release of details on 150 suspicious activity reports filed by banks with the Treasury Department about the Biden's family's overseas deal-making. What's your take on this?
Well, my take is that when we retake the majority, the important thing is that we get to the bottom of whether or not there's a special standard of avoiding criminal prosecution, IRS prosecution, and the like, if your last name happens to be Biden.
You know, so the congressman is saying that the GOP is collecting dozens of people and witnesses. They're seeing lawsuits pending against Hunter Biden, the potential the Biden family, plus bank records. Is that what you're hearing? Is that what you guys are doing?
That's a part of what we're doing. Obviously, some of what we've already been able to do is to reach conclusions that he was guilty of income tax evasion and that it appears as though he's going to make a financial settlement when, in fact, it was millions of dollars that he hid from the government and hid from the eyes of people while he flew around on Air Force Two with his father, trading favors in China, Ukraine, Russia, and the like.
Let's watch Representative Comer with us. He made this stunning claim. Watch this.
Well, we've discovered that Hunter Biden had 150 suspicious activity reports filed against various bank accounts. Any member of Congress could request suspicious activity reports from Treasury. Once Joe Biden came in office, before it became public that Hunter had all these bank violations, he changed the rules where no member of Congress can have access to suspicious activity reports.
Who's doing that?
Specifically, it would be Janet Yellen because you go to the top. So we've requested at least 3 times from her these suspicious activity reports. Now, she came back and said that, well, I'll tell you what, we'll give them to you if you can get another Democrat in the House to sign on to that. Well, that's changing the rules in the middle of the game. But regardless, no Democrat wants to deal with the Hunter Biden situation.
Congressman, what's your reaction to the Treasury Secretary saying a Democrat has to sign off on this? This is it seems like it's politicizing Congress's duties of oversight.
Well, totally. But what it is doing is delaying the inevitable on behalf of the President of the United States. They can kick the can down the road until January 3rd of next year, and they apparently will. At that point, it is likely that subpoena authority will pass to the majority and that we'll get that, but a lot more. The fact is there are FISA warrants that were issued that clearly would include Hunter Biden for criminals that he dealt with, people that we have suspicions about or investigated. All of that is going to be available come January 3rd, but they can and are delaying this. And then I suspect they'll delay when subpoenas arrive for weeks or months. That's been the modus operandi of the Obama administration. I expect the same from this administration, especially when it comes to his own son.
But the critics have been saying that Democrats have politicized and weaponized the DOJ, FBI. They ramp up hearings and block access to information that could go against them. I mean, this is really cynical stuff. I mean, what's your take when you heard the New York Post reporting White House logs and calendars show Hunter Biden visited and met with his father at least 30 times after overseas trips from 2008 to 2016 when the president was vice president? This raises serious questions about the truthfulness of the president's claims. He knew nothing about this. I mean, Hunter met with Russian oligarchs, according to the New York Post, in Moscow, and days after he returned, he met with his father in the Naval Observatory. What was your word on this, your final word?
My final word is the president is compromised because of these false statements, these meetings, and his support for his drug addict, tax evading son. All of that is the part that we know. The parts we don't know, we'll discover when we have the ability to get those records.
Congressman Issa, thanks for joining us. It's good to see you.